Welcome back to the Final Fantasy VII Remake. Well, we just got our lovely guided tour of the Shinra builder, which is totally not an evil corporation, we swear. Now we're getting
Everything they're doing is for the good of the planet. This sounds familiar.
We found out that the mayor...
Yes, now we're going to try to get the ball rolling more on Operation Save Aerith. But go on, Jim.
We also found out that the mayor is apparently forced to work in the very library of Shinra, to the point where he practically cannot do a damn thing for his city. So basically, according to him, he's all for, he'll help us as long as we do something that hurts the president. And given what we know, I think the president's going to get very hurt. In fact, he may end up having some back pains by the end of all this.
I do like this little piano piece. It reminds me of the of some of the piano pieces you hear in like The Sims, or the first game at least.
Uh-huh.
Mayor explosive. Okay then, moving on.
Yeah, I got a bit confused of where I was supposed to go, but I cut it down.
I've realized an interesting bout of trivia here.
What?
You remember when we were going up the stairs, there was that little crack Barret made about how he'd rather take a suicidal last stand?
Yeah?
Well, you may recall Cloud's reaction to that was rather negative, almost as if on a subconscious level he would hate the idea of a suicidal last stand, almost as if the price of freedom is very high.
I thought Jova at first you were gonna mention what Tifa says to him in the original game, but...
So, about this precious promised land of yours. Come now, Aerith. You misunderstand my intentions. I wish only to satisfy their material greed, so I can be left to pursue...
Sure.
Great, eh?
Our great work, my dear.
You. Exactly.
You're the spitting image of her.
That theme sounds a bit familiar.
Very familiar.
To this day.
Oh, hinting at something ahead of time, are we, Hojo?
It could have played out quite differently. What a terrible tragedy to lose the last of the pure-blooded ancients.
Well, you can blame that on Shinra's incompetence.
Though not completely. Would you like to see your mother? Albeit through the lens of one of my microscopes.
That's nice. Okay. Did you have to hug the containment cell?
Ah, that's so nice. They kept her mother's corpse to dissect.
Hair, skin,
Well, at least someone's found their mother.
fragment of every bone. As breathtaking in death as in life. As you, my dear.
Dude, you lost it.
Maybe for Aerith it's actually better, but she has that, indestructible glass covering her.
Yeah.
And there it is. That same elegance.
But being pissed at you is elegance.
Oh, yes. Time for yet another meeting.
Tough people, am I right?
Sit tight. I won't be long.
Take your time, please.
How nice.
I also love how he just gave her a footstool to stay on, and that's it. It's like, not even a chair, a footstool.
Where loyal Shinra employees relax and recharge.
I mean, at least it wasn't some poor soul that stuck with Scarlet.
Oh, God.
Alright,
Well, most of the poor souls that were stuck with Scarlet are probably molten on the floor by now.
Alright, Jova, you were saying?
So yeah, Barret makes that crack about the suicidal last stand when he reaches the 49-4. Now people may remember that Zack actually worked under Director Lazard Ducarius in the 49-4, the Shinra headquarters, along with many other soldier members. So, was that just an amazing reference, or the mother of all coincidences?
I'd say both. But the game hasn't stopped referencing Crisis Core, technically speaking. But I do wonder.
I mean, it almost seems a little too perfectly put and almost hinting, but just subtly enough to that I could totally see that being intentional, especially since the 49-4, how specific.
Alright, moving on.
Alright, let's see what else we got to do here. Nope, can't go through there.
No, Cloud, do not disturb the office cubicle employer in their natural habitat. They're afraid.
Unless you're bringing coffee, do not disturb.
And do not tap the glass.
How so, Tifa?
Let's find our contact.
Not seeing any security around.
Barret, don't jinx it!
To be fair, Dwibs, yeah, they're just letting this guy with a cannon crafted in his hand walking around. Cloud, like I said, Cloud's a different story because soldier units are, common to be seen around. But Barret's a bit of a different story altogether.
Maybe they're not reacting because he's with them.
I guess.
Let's just suggest that Tifa and Barret are soldier interns.
Okay, so basically, here's what you got to do here. Look around and find a stuffed suit and say the mayor. Just mayor. Sorry, if they don't say anything to you, then this most likely it's not them.
It's basically point and click logic. Go around, ask information, refer the password, and see what happens.
I'm sure the coffee lady will be the contact.
Can we get a coffee though?
Mayo? Sorry, we don't have any here.
Ah, that's a shame. I hear the mayor's a very good brand of coffee.
Cafeteria don't serve things with mayo in it.
Can we get a cup of tea though?
Dwibs.
Yes, a cup of tea would be nice.
Hello.
Oh, hello, handsome fellow.
Oh, hi, Connor.
Who has an important message to share with us.
Everyone here at Shinra is deeply
Oh, God, Heidegger and talk show.
of terrorism, but at the same time, we will not be cowed by threats or violence. To the people of Midgar, I make this vow. We will find the villains responsible and bring them to justice.
I'm sure
That's
you will.
a Heidegger promise.
They may be closer than you think.
Run all you like. Shinra is coming.
You know what? If this was pre-recorded and Heidegger was right behind them all.
Surprise!
Okay. Yeah, fuck your chair. Fuck this guy.
Are you military? Cool. I guess things have been keeping you pretty busy around here. You found the guys who did this yet?
We're working
So what are you
on it.
eating?
Did it?
What about the mayor?
Never mind.
Let's just say the mayor.
Yeah, and then he quietly just goes back to stewing his bowl.
Yeah. I'm on the phone, you arsehole.
That doesn't quite answer the question.
Please.
Hey.
Do you have any idea how annoying it is for the people of the cafeteria putting anything back in place?
These
Hey, Tifa
people,
just kicked a chair.
Mayor.
these people are Shinra sycophants. They don't deserve chairs.
Sir, there's this weird blonde guy walking around with a big sword saying the meh.
Also-
Do you want to be the one to tell him to stop? Because I don't.
I don't.
Also, I love that aside from the minor plants, oh there it is. Aside from the minor plants, the biggest and most beautiful of the trees has to be encapsulated in a glass in the center of a room. Add some high quality symbolism there.
You work here? I don't recognize you. Can I help you with something?
The mayor.
And there's your cue. Because it cuts to a different scene. That's how we know it's the guy.
That's right.
Huh. This guy looks like a certain Japanese dev. I can't put my finger on it.
Say what?
What is he a Nomura self-insert or something?
No, Nomura is much skinnier and everything. Also,
He doesn't look like Nomura. He looks
He
like
kind of looks more like Neville, actually.
Oh my god, he does.
All right. So basically, in order to get the key card to progress, we have to prove our worth by being the very best in this combat simulator.
This seems kind of familiar.
basically this combines Chadley holographic technology and the Colosseum from Sector 6.
Ooh, version 3.04. Alright. Three-person team versus bear is best. Three-person team power, which you pick your team. Show who's really the best by taking on powerful foes, handpicked by a top Shinra executive who is also Mayor Domino's secret ally. You can't use items, so...
Gee,
Good luck.
I never get what's the point of picking the team leader. I mean, you can always pretty much swap who you play as anyway. You know. Doesn't make much sense. Right. I was just saying, I don't get why, you know, why they give you the option to pick a team leader when you can pretty much already swap team members anyway. What do you guys think?
I don't know.
Honestly,
Well, I've got plenty of health, so.
No, this boss battle is easy enough. We'll just spam fodder magic and you'll be fine.
Oh, yeah. Again, what's even the point of picking a team leader when you can pretty much just swap who you play as?
I guess formalities, I don't know.
Well, remember, Joe, but regardless of how your party set up, on the field, Cloud will always be the one visible. So technically they are kind of staying faithful to that by just having the party leader regardless of who you choose as party leader, there's always Cloud you control on the field. Maybe that's...
Pedro, my point is like when we go, why bother picking a team leader? Because that only seems to dictate who you start playing as in the battle as opposed to, you know...
Oh, yeah. Well, that's the idea. Maybe someone might have a preference using a specific character, so that allows the person to never ever have to control another character if they don't want to.
I guess.
And there we are. We won the battle by the power of the punch.
Hey, better than only getting that option for the hours into the game.
Who would have thought?
And we get a mega potion. Yay! No, I don't want to re-challenge, thank you very much. 3 stars is alright by me as long as it means we've beaten the mission and can get the key
Actually,
card.
that refers to the difficulty of the level.
Oh, fuck. Okay. It's a number of stars and I achieved it, so yeah.
I'm a man of my word. Here, this key card will grant you access to the 64th floor. You can use the elevator to get there. Once you're up there, just what is it you plan on doing?
Blow shit up.
One of our friends. She's being held in a research lab somewhere.
A lab? Then she must be with Professor Hojo. Won't be easy to get to her. Access to R&D is limited to authorized personnel only.
Alright.
We'll find a way in. Know where we can find Hojo?
A board meeting is scheduled to start soon. It's being held in the main conference.
I wonder if we'll be able to get through a zany way involving the toilet like in the original.
We can even take the president as a hostage.
That's not what we're here to do, Barret.
Well, again, if it's in the way...
And you know, that is a pretty practical way of thinking. The president would make a keen hostage. Shame mentioned
the president would understand.
To the air ducts there.
I'm sure he will.
Thanks for the tip.
Okay, so yeah, for the rest of this part, actually, we're going to be trying out some more of the combat later.
Because Charlie's here.
Cloud, I've been waiting for you.
You knew we would come.
That lab coat doesn't really fit you. Sorry, kid.
I get the feeling he's a lot younger than the normal personnel here.
I will support you in any way that I can. I sense a surge in trust. We should keep this brief to avoid suspicion.
Alright, let's see what he's got.
If I recall correctly, if you're playing on the highest difficulty, this is where you will eventually get that particular super boss that completes Chadley's arc.
I look forward to receiving all of your future battle intel submissions.
All right, so let's see what the other mission. Let's see what the next mission is. Okay, we got a whole bunch of options here, but which one am I going to pick?
There you go, Dwibs. The star represents the difficulty on them. But to be perfectly honest, most of these, at least for this first batch, are pretty easy.
Yeah.
And these ones cost a bit of money to do. And
oh no!
So, 3 of these missions you can only do with one of each of the team members, and the other 2 are like 2 or 3 people. Ooh, this is so hard. I don't know what to pick. It's like putting me in a chocolate shop. I'm gonna be there forever picking.
I mean, you'll get to them all eventually, so pick away.
Alright, time to do Tifa's mission.
Oh, against a Sagging Prince.
5 rounds.
Doing all of these tournament rounds in hard mode gives you a manual so that you can unlock more XP for your character, so you can eventually max out all the weapons.
There you go, Tifa's frog form.
Cute. Hey, what happens when a toad gets beaten by lightning? This.
Sagging is not a toad, Jova.
It was close enough to make the joke. Besides, that joke was just as bad in the movie.
Which one?
X-Men.
Oh, no, I forgot about that.
Good for you.
I love how the bio sound effect is almost identical to the one of the original.
Mm-hmm. I hate when that happens. That is kind of a bit of a shame. It's like, well, there's not really any lock-on when you're introducing a super move or a limit break. So if you accidentally...
Actually, the limit break has a lock-on onto them. It's just the fact that if the enemy is doing a particular attack animation, then you will fail to connect properly. But otherwise, your character normally would gravitate onto the target, even if it's far away.
That's sort of my point, though. Like, the initial hit of a limit break doesn't have that lock-on, so, like, we'll per se, the enemy right at the last moment jumps out of the way, you pretty much are stuck, and what's worse, you're stuck in that limit break animation, to which you are vulnerable as well. I will admit, that does feel a bit arbitrary, and I do think that maybe they should make it that you're, at the very least, granted the hit, given what you have to sacrifice to do the limit break, you know. Okay, now it's up against the ghost. So, Tio, we've talked about favorite boss battle themes, but what's your favorite boss in general in this game? Unless we haven't gotten to it yet.
Trying to think about it specifically.
It's quite a lot.
Well, yeah. I guess
the air buster just because of the music.
Oh yeah. You're saying to you?
No, because I'm still trying to think.
For me,
I don't know, I can't really give an answer right now.
For me, that's a bit of a tough one. Airbuster is definitely a good candidate. That certain boss, which I will not spoil, but let's just say I call the thing about it. That's neat as well. The Reno and Rude boss fight is a nice change of pace, so that's another goodie. And then there's the final boss, but I won't spoil that one iota.
Alright, so how far am I in this so far?
Still on the second one, Dwibs.
Yep, you're up against the Phantom now.
Any reason you're even doing this since you're out of this optional?
Because I wanted to show off the matches that you get when you're only one person. Plus, I wanted to get better at controlling Tifa.
Fair enough. Like I said, the game does sometimes have this issue that if you don't have the right materia for the job, some fights may drag on a bit more than others.
Well, that's just how it is in the original game as well. I mean, that's just part of a JRPG system. If you don't have the correct tools, you might have trouble. That's just what JRPGs are by nature.
Ronji Bandit.
Remember, it's the guy that works also with the 3 other misfits that Cloud and Aerith run into Sector 5.
How did that guy manage to, considering how strong Tifa's punches are, I'm surprised that guy didn't didn't break his spine.
I mean, he does look like the ultimate warrior in a bit, so...
I mean, if I go fight Blaine with only grass Pokemon, of course I'm gonna have trouble. That's just how JRPGs are.
Oh, well, yeah, of course. However, I do feel like the original had a bit more fluidity to it. Granted, we've already talked about it before in this game, but sometimes there's no way to know whatsoever which material you need for every fight that will come, not to mention the swapping out here and there. Again, like I said, it doesn't bring the game down to being bad. It just is something that could maybe be tweaked a bit so that, you know, not necessarily they make it easier, but more so the game allows for a bit more fluid materia swap out here and there, especially if you get to one of those bosses that, you know, assuming you play the game blind, you have absolutely no idea you need to prepare this particular materia for.
Or maybe do a battle system that's much like Kino 22's, where type matchups exist, but they're not the key deciding factor in any way. It's mostly just about making good use of the mechanics themselves.
I could see that being the case too. Again, I feel like it kind of worked a bit better for the original 7, which, you know, was mainly turn-based, so, you know, while having certain material definitely gave you an advantage, it didn't feel like something that would, you know, prevent a fight from dragging out needlessly. Whereas here, again, you can still win without particular materia, but if you're in for a nice fluid time, you may get a bit frustrated when certain fights say, sorry, you don't have the right materia, you gotta grind for a bit. Like, okay, I'd say, like, well, if this were being mainly exclusive to bosses, that would be fine, but there are some times where, you know, random mooks can sometimes become a chore because you didn't bring the right materia. That is where I feel like maybe the game could have tweaked things a bit.
That may be true, Jova, but the game still has some common staple for a lot of a monster. For example, all machine being weak to thunder and all humanoid being weak to fire, for example.
Oh, well, that's
so
just common sense for Final Fantasy.
Maybe, Jova, but if you see like a Shinra variant, you think, oh, this may be different. No, it's not.
Yeah.
Or even like one of these, for example.
Not to mention, if you're gonna do an entire round of 5 matches with one character, the correct procedure, of course, someone who at the very least knows what he's doing will, of course, okay, let me try to equip this character with
make it balanced, ready for any situation, you know.
Definitely, yeah. Granted, there's only so much material you can take, but I would definitely recommend having as much variety as possible, like you guys.
I mean, in a very basic way, you will need only 5, you know, 4 main elemental and 1 for the cure spell, and that's ideally because you can also use, you know, you can spam the shit out of items as long as you have ETB, you know, in this case. And at this point of the game, if you had done even the basic stuff like Dwibs did, don't put auto on assigning, you know, the APs to the weapons, you will have plenty enough of slots to put in everything you know what you want.
I'm guessing, Jova, you would prefer if this was structured like the second Ni no Kuni 2 expansion, where in between each fight you get an opportunity to change up your setup and
that would be nice.
You in advance what the enemy is weak against.
That is a chunky chocobo.
Yes, it is.
Well, Shiroi, his name is Fat Chocobo. So.
Yes. Remember, Shiro, it's a god of fertility. Because...
Wow. Amazing. Tifa managed to roundhouse kick a whole thing without breaking her foot.
Not to mention, Shiroi, as Chadley put it, the Fat Chocobo's existence is a proof that the universe has the sense of humor.
Yes.
I mean, hey, he can still put up a good fight, I'll give him that.
Well, yeah, he's a tank.
Finish him off.
He literally just repelled that thing with its belly.
It's a chainsaw.
Victory! Do.
Now.
No surprises there.
Neat.
And I got a rune armlets. And that's all we're going to be seeing of this because you want to press on.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we could stay here forever if we wanted to, but then Aerith would probably die of starvation.
No. Well, what happened was that Aerith would be forcibly mated with Red 13, like in the original.
Well, Hojo will have to explain that in one of the next parts anyway.
come up with the most fascinating theory. Perhaps you can lend me your assistance in gathering data to test it?
Spoiler, Cloud's sword is actually not even made out of
I
metal.
hope you will continue to help me gather vital
Spoilers, the Shinra building is incredibly tall.
I look forward to receiving
But is it tall enough like the Alchemax building, Jova?
I hope not.
Oh god, it may not be as tall. Still though, tall is tall. The Alchemax building was just overcompensating.
Alright, so after that little side distraction, in the next part, we are definitely for realsies going to begin Operation Save Aerith, we promise.
I believe you.
Hopefully Aerith won't have either died of starvation, oxygen deprivation because I didn't see any air holes in that cell, or boredom because of how President Hojo loves to talk.
I mean, she's stuck behind that glass, so as long as Hojo just keeps her there, for now she should be fine.
Alright, so we'll see you then.
Yeah.
See ya.
See ya.